Welcome to another episode of 9to5Mac Weekly, where you don't have to go to tech launch events because they'll just show you everything in an Oscars commercial. I am your host, Miles Somerville, and let's get into the news. In our first story, an absolutely shocking revelation has revealed that Apple is dominating the truly wireless earphone market. Across all of 2019, Apple had a 47% market share, with Samsung and Xiaomi coming in at second place. And even with supply constraints, the AirPods Pro still sold over 6 million units in Q4 of 2019, which is definitely not surprising. 3 years ago, when the AirPods originally came out, a lot of reviewers in the tech space, including myself, kind of laughed at them. And now they're in everyone's ears. You see them everywhere you go, including people you see driving on the street, people wearing AirPods while driving. That's something I've truly struggled to understand, but hey, when you make a product, a good product, people will buy it and use it, even at the expense of their safety in a vehicle, but hey. Case maker Totally is hinting that the new 4.7-inch iPhone is actually going to be called the iPhone SE2, despite conflicting reports that it would be called the iPhone 9. If you're unaware of what this device is supposed to be, it's supposed to have a 4.7-inch display, an A13 processor, and 64 gigs of storage to start in an iPhone 8 body style, with a supposed price point of $399 to start. Now, usually case makers are pretty close to the supply chain, so the fact that they're calling this device the SE2 is something to take into consideration. But technically speaking, the iPhone 9 title would make more sense, as it's physically speaking more closer to the iPhone 8 in design. The original SE had an iPhone 5S body style and a 4-inch display. This is going to have, an iPhone 8 body style and a 4.7-inch display. The only correlation between this device and the original SE would just be the price point. So I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens. Who knows? Apple could throw us for a curveball and call it the iPhone XC or something like that, but we'll just have to see. This past weekend was the 92nd Annual Academy Awards, and Taika Waititi took home an Oscar for his 2019 movie Jojo Rabbit. So congrats, Taika. It was a great movie. Well deserved. But during his acceptance speech, he had a little bit to say about Apple, and specifically their keyboard. So check this out.
With the upcoming Writers Guild talks, I was just curious, what are some of the needs that you believe that writers should be asking for in the next round of talks with producers?
Apple needs to fix those keyboards. They are impossible to write on. They've gotten worse. That makes me want to go back to PCs, because PC keyboard, the bounce back on for your fingers is way better. And hands up who still uses a PC.
You know what I'm talking about.
So based on this clip, I doubt he's tried the new 16-inch, but I think this is a good thing, him saying this. Not because I think it's just good that he's bashing Apple, but I think the more pro-user feedback and pro-user outcry we get, the more Apple will make the changes that we want to see. Now, supposedly they're supposed to be doing away with all of their butterfly switch keyboards in 2020. They're going to introduce all of their new 2020 models with the new scissor switches. So yeah, hopefully Taika cops the new models, and hopefully he watches our reviews before he makes that purchase. So, I did get some submissions for 9to5 Desk Flex, but of course they were not videos like instructed, they were just all pictures. So I'm going to reiterate, I'm giving away this Anker wireless charger. You can charge your Apple Watch and your AirPods or iPhones with this thing, and all you have to do is submit a 1 to 2 minute video showing off your Apple desk setup, just so we can see what kind of gear you're working with, why you have X product on your desk and such. Send it to my Instagram or Twitter handle @SomeOfMiles, and you'll be featured on the channel. And the first person to do so, in the form of a video, will receive this. So just for demonstration purposes, I thought I'd show off my personal setup just so you guys get a feel what I'm talking about. So here are my main displays. This is the BenQ PD2720U. This is the BenQ PD3220U. They're both 4K Thunderbolt 3 IPS displays. Really sweet stuff. Right here I have the Elgato Thunderbolt 3 Pro dock. Gives you a bunch of I/O, extra Thunderbolt ports, USBs on the front, SD card slots, display port, HDMI in the back. Here I have my Fledging shell from Fledging. It's a 1 terabyte Thunderbolt 3 SSD. I've got a Nokia wireless charger. My speakers of choice are the Audio Engine 2 Plus, A2 Plus desktop speakers. These are Biodynamic DT990 Special Edition headphones. Back here is a shit audio Asgard 3 DAC. I freaking love this thing. And behind here is my Power Color AMD RX 570 eGPU enclosure. Got the Blue Yeti. I've got a BenQ lamp right here. It's a really nice lamp. It's gesture controlled too, which is pretty cool. For peripherals, I'm rocking the Logitech Craft and Logitech MX Master 2S. By the way, this is a headphone stand from Satechi holding my headphones. And down here, the main guy running the show, the 2018 Mac Mini i5, 20 gigs of RAM, 256 SSD, a Scarlett audio interface, just a standard USB 3.0 hub, all sitting on top of an IKEA Linmon desk. So that would be your boy's setup. So back to the news. Now, in some non-Apple related news, but still kind of big, Essential, the newbie smartphone manufacturer started up by Andy Rubin in 2019, is shutting down. Last year, they previewed their new device called the Gem, which looked like an interesting device for sure, but apparently they couldn't get things off the ground, and Essential will no longer be. Essential from the very beginning was plagued with issues as far as like the device itself. They actually sent me their PH1 device a while back, and I honestly hated the user experience. Now, mind you, the hardware, the physical hardware was absolutely fire, and I mean fire, but the software was trash, and I mean really, really bad. So I mean, I don't really think this is hurting anyone other than their employees. They only came out with like 1 or 2 mods after the device's launch. The one I got was the 360 camera mod, and that had like 12-inch MacBook camera quality. And let's not even get into all the scandalous stuff Andy Rubin has gotten himself into. But yeah, essentially this is it. Out of sheer curiosity, I actually went back to one of my old videos from over 2 years ago on XDA TV. It was my software rant on the Essential phone, and I'm looking at the top comment here. He just goes over a bunch of reasons why my video was out of date because of all the updates that improved the software experience after the initial launch. And you see number 8 here. It says, "Take a leap of faith, save some bucks, and jump on Andy's Essential phone train so you won't be left at the station." Well, Ricky B, the station no longer exists. There is no station because there is no Essential. Essentially, that's what I'm saying. If you're a LumaFusion and or Final Cut user, then you're really gonna like this news. Jeff recently did a video on LumaFusion Update 2.2, which allows users with a $20 in-app purchase to export your LumaFusion projects directly into Final Cut Pro if you need to make further edits. LumaFusion is continuously growing in popularity for mobile editors and iPad Pro fanatics, so if you think $20 is worth it, this is definitely something to check out. Jeff did an awesome video going over everything related to this feature. Check it out. In our final news story, we're once again, well, at least not on this channel, but generally speaking, addressing a tale as old as time, a mystery that some of the greatest detectives, myself included, cannot seem to crack. And that's the Instagram app for iPad. We still don't have one. Instagram CEO Adam Mosseri had this to say about it. "We'd like to build an iPad app, but we only have so many people and lots to do, and it hasn't bubbled up as the next best thing to do yet." So basically he's trying to say that they don't have the manpower, the company doesn't have the manpower to devote their time to building one. So I wouldn't be holding my breath for an official Instagram iPad app, but maybe one day. So that'll pretty much do it for the news this week. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember, if you want to have your setup featured on the channel, the first one to submit will win this, an Anker wireless charger. It's so easy. Free wireless charger. Just submit a video, have your setup featured on the channel. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed, and give a thumbs up. Any feedback you leave down in the comment section below. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one.